So let's start out. So hi, Timmy.
Hey, Jack.
Okay, we're Total Bro Sports. We report without sensationalism, and there are questions we'd love to ask you.
Okay, I'm game.
We
Fire
are
away.
So, how were sports in Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm actually from Nigeria. Basically, everyone sports is universal in Nigeria. The main sport I would say is soccer.
Oh, lovely pass to Coyote. He's in here. Coyote, tap in.
Most people are playing soccer, whether rich or poor, whether it's in schools or on the street. People are playing soccer, and that's the sport, and that's how people express themselves through sport for the most part. But there are a lot of different sports. Nigerians also get into basketball. There are a lot of Nigerians you see today in the NBA and stuff too. OG and Anubi just hit the .5 game winner.
Marcus Smart's going to stay up high, taking anybody coming to the ball.
Series on the line. Anunoby got it off, and it goes!
Yeah, I don't watch NBA because I already know the Lakers are going to win. So what was the most difficult part about playing rugby?
The most difficult part about playing college rugby for me was the time commitment, and the physical aspect of it. One, the time commitment. In college, you pick your own classes, you pick your own schedules, and it's hard sometimes to get the certain class you want based on a certain time because you have other time commitments. For me, for example, I had rugby, and so I couldn't schedule classes at certain times. I had to miss my dinner that I got through my fraternity every day I had practice because practice was during dinner time. So I had to spend money then, and so stuff like that. The time commitment was a bit difficult. There are times where I had other obligations that I wanted to fulfill, but rugby on the weekends, could sometimes take 2 days based on tournaments and stuff. So that was pretty hard to get used to. And then the second thing that wasn't that bad, but was a kind of a shock, was the physical aspect. I had played rugby in high school only for 1 year, freshman year of high school at prep, and I got injured in practice. Some dude, as he was going over me to ruck, kind of skated over my eye with his cleat, and my eye was bleeding, and people couldn't see my eyeball, and people thought I'd lost my eye. And I was talking to my parents, I had to get stitches all over, and they were like, yeah, you're not playing rugby again. So I didn't play rugby for the rest of high school, but I came to UVA, and I really wanted to get into a sport. I had missed club soccer tryout. Soccer was my main sport as well. And I was like, I played rugby before. I'm fast. I could probably be a good asset to this team. And then, first tryout, man, I go 1-on-1 against this guy. I completely juke him, take him out of his socks completely. I'm feeling myself a little bit, Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook. We hot. I was saying, and then the second time I go against him, he completely decks me.
Here comes the y'all don't really want it like that.
And I feel it, in my bones. I feel it the next day after. I'm like, shit, that's it's pretty painful. But you get used to it, your body adjusts, and then during the games you don't even feel getting hit. You really only feel it the next day after all the adrenaline's all wore off. But yeah, those are the two biggest challenges: time commitment and the physical aspect. Yeah.
What was the craziest injury you saw in rugby that did not happen to you?
I've seen so many injuries in rugby, man, and a lot of them are crazy because they all happen on the field, and I'm usually right there in the action. So it's I've seen a lot. I've seen two guys just collide in there, just collide head to head, and just straight, just mountains of blood just coming down. You can't see any facial features. I've been a foot away from that. I've seen someone snap an ankle completely, by someone else's weight, just crushing it. I've seen that. I've seen shoulders, being labrums torn. That's probably the most common injury I've seen, labrums being torn. And I've seen, those are probably the worst one. Was probably the ankle one because you could just see the bone. It's a crazy feeling. For a sec, you just don't even, your body doesn't know how to like react because you're in the middle of a game. You know, your mind is mentally on the game, but part of your mind is like, what did I just see? Like, what just happened to my friend? You know, and it's just like it's kind of like a war.
Absolutely.
War kind of sometimes. Some games get really, really intense.
Oh, fights. Any fights?
Yeah, I mean, no, rugby actually, you'd be surprised. Rugby, it's a hooligan's game played by gentlemen. So, like, you know, people really respect the rules, and you know, they try to tackle always like below the height level. You know, they try to just follow the rules, and because they know like you can really injure someone, you can end someone's career, you can end someone's life in the game, and so they really take every precautions to protect each other.
Yeah, so the referees are probably very strict with like the rules.
Mm.
Do you see a difference between club and intramural sports in college?
Yeah, there's a big difference. It depends on what sport specifically, but the main difference is that club sports, you know, they carry a bit more responsibility. They carry a bit more weight. You have to try out. You have to pay dues for the club team. Those are the biggest differences. But you also play against other schools. You know, you play against their club teams, and it's much more competitive. Now at UVA, depending on the club sport, like club soccer is very, you know, very big. There's a strong cutting process. The tryout process is multiple weeks, I think, or a week and a half, and like there are multiple cuts and stuff like that. It's almost run like a full-on actual varsity team. A lot of club sports are like that, but also a lot of club sports are also really laid back, and it's very interesting because with rugby, we were a club team, but we played against varsity programs. We're essentially meant to be a varsity team representing UVA, but you know, due to Title IX and the equal allocation of budget, which is 100% fair and right, we didn't get the funding to recruit and stuff. So our women's rugby team is actually elite. Like they won the national championship, I think, twice in the last 4 years.
Whoa.
Like no, they're on the next level, and like yeah, they could definitely give us a run for our money sometimes. Like I like for sure, they're good. They're really good. But you know, we just like kind of developed our own brand of rugby. Like playing D1 is not easy. Like we were definitely one of the worst teams in our league, but we, you know, worked hard. We played tough rugby. We made teams hate coming to our team because it's not going to be easy. But we actually recently moved down to D2.
Oh.
We went AA. And so like now it's a lot easier for us. We went to nationals last year. And so yeah, you know, it's all the ebbs and flows of the game. But yeah, it's been a cool ride.
How do you feel about the coronavirus pandemic? Do you think it will affect UVA sports next year?
100%. Corona has really been unfortunate for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, just how many people's lives it's affected across the world. That's just, you know, it's been very sad. I'm losing a lot of people. A lot of people I've known have been killed due to Corona. A lot of my friends and stuff, people that they know have been affected by Corona.
Mm-hmm.
With regards to sports, yeah, I see it. I see the big sports, you know, taking the necessary precautions and being able to somewhat, you know, have a program. But I think, you know, club sports it's gonna be more touch and go, more touchy subject. I feel like it's going to be drastically affected because now the club sports have a less organized, you know, collegiate group, and so like there's the communication between programs isn't as clear, isn't as crystal clear. Like club programs aren't reaching out to each other and like clarifying everything like they are with varsity. So I think for those reasons they're going to suffer, and I think probably will be put on a backseat until there's somewhat of sense of control over the coronavirus, which is unfortunate because club sports are a really beautiful thing. Like I said before, coming in as a first year, it was how I met my friends and people who I was going to be enjoying the rest of my 4 years of college with. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but we do need to take necessary precautions so everybody is safe, and then, you know, we can get back to playing sports and scoring tries and stuff like that.
That is very true. On a more positive note, do you know any big name college athletes? from you being 4 years at UVA?
Yeah, namely the basketball ones, Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter.
Ooh.
I've known them. I was in dorms with them my freshman year, and then we've been friends since. I have a couple pictures with them. Yeah, those are really good guys, down to earth. They really know what it means to work hard and work for a team, and like they really are the embodiment of sport at UVA. You know, the kind of people you want to emulate and become like.
DeAndre Hunter is a leader. I've seen. He got drafted fourth by the Hawks.
Yeah, he's a silent leader. You know, he leads by his actions, and he leads by his effort and commitment, and you can see it, and it definitely drives the team forward. And with Ty is a more cool and calm, collected guy. He's like able to vocally, manipulate traffic and like get guys involved with his play style.
Light of the crowd.
Westbrook goes 100 miles an hour.
Bridges got tied up, and Jerome.
And he can control the game with his tempo and stuff. So they both have great qualities that will help them succeed in their NBA careers.
Yeah, that's cool. So how do you balance in the future, how do you balance athletes and international relations with affairs majors? Like if you want to go like play more on like club rugby with in your adult career and still get a major in what you're in international affairs. So do you think there's any plans to balance that out?
Yeah, for sure. It's always important to find a balance. Personally, my plans would be, I would have to. I wouldn't be too worried because honestly, I think I manage my time better when I'm playing a sport versus not. The more time I have, the more I see myself just, putting things off versus I have practice at this time. I have to finish this so I can go to practice and like not have anything to worry about. So I don't see it being too much of a problem. And like, I think actually playing a sport just increases balance. And like one thing I found with rugby is that UVA was pretty difficult, and like there are times where I had stressful times with class and school, and like rugby was a very, very nice outlet to relieve stress and just to hit something, relieve that pent up energy or frustration you may be having at the time too. So I think it's a big part of the whole balance. It kind of brings balance.
Bring balance to the force.
As well.
So this question isn't really a sports question. I found this, which was very nice of you. As a person, what inspired you to help the library that got destroyed by Boko Haram?
Okay, so what inspired me to do it was just, I don't know, I just felt like something had to change. Like being in the state and being in the area where it actually happened and seeing it on the news, like, this is 45 minutes away from me. I was at home with my family on Christmas Day. Like, I don't see my family that often because they're in Nigeria and my sister and I are here in the States, we're boarding, and stuff. So like, I don't see them that often. And so when we get together, I always want to have it be, the greatest time because I might not see them for a couple months after. And like, it really put stuff into perspective because I was like, I'm out here enjoying this, in safety and stuff. And like, people are trying to just do the same who are maybe not as privileged and living in a different part of the state that is more politically charged and political unrest, And I just, when I saw that, I was like, you know what, something has to be done because people should not be dying based on religious beliefs. Like we're in the 21st century. Like, that's a bit of a joke. And I just like, you know what, I'm lucky enough where nobody got hurt, and like I have to do something. So I talked to my dad, and like he was a huge part of this. He helped me. He completely backed whatever I was feeling because he felt the same way as well. So we went down to visit, and I talked to the priest and the father in charge, and he survived everything, and he told me everything that happened. He went into like the most gruesome detail. And like, I was just like, oh my God, this is bad. So I ended up going back to school, going back to prep. This was my junior year, and I was in my dorm room at prep, and I was just still thinking about it, man, because it was just messed up. And I was thinking about it, and I realized that like, education is the key. Like I'm educated. I can see that like people's religious beliefs don't necessarily affect their character and stuff. That doesn't matter. You should judge people by character, as everybody says. And so I talked to my dad. I just started getting books. I started getting books from different schools that were going to release them, and I sent them over. And then over time, like a company back there got wind of it and decided to help sponsor and like just donate a bunch of money and it helped me build a school. So it really worked out. And it's been 5 years since. The library's been built, the computer science lab's been built. And I'm like, yeah, they're going strong. I actually have to go back. I haven't been back in like 5 years. It's been a while. I've been really busy here with college and other stuff, but I'm excited to go back and see how things are going. But yeah, that was really my motivation. It was just like I just felt like I had to do something. Just being as lucky as I am, in life, I just had to do something. Yeah.
Well, so that was the main part of the interview.